Hi everybody, my name is Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And I'm Jason.
And we're the Yahoo Torah YouTube channel.
And it is a Shabbat, and we thank you guys very, very much for joining our little itty bitty tiny ecclesia. May the love of our Creator flow through you guys, and may you guys be completely Baruch in today's lesson. Let's begin with a little bit of prayer. Precious Heavenly Father, we come before you as your people. We come before you as your people who are willing to worship you, who are willing to seek your ways, Father. Please embed us with the Ruach HaKodesh. Bring us the spirit of wisdom. Bring us the best of the messengers around all of us that will help us through all of everything that we're doing. Father, you have given us hope. You have given us so much. And Father, we are here to praise your name. We are here to lift your name up. We are here to seek your ways. And Father, I ask that our eyes are open and our ears are able to hear, and that we are your people and that you will accept us into the kingdom to come. We thank you for everything. And again, we ask for blessings for everybody that is listening to this, and that lives will be changed and that we can do our part for the kingdom. We thank you again for your Son. We thank you for your Torah, and we thank you for your love, and we thank you for your creation. We thank you for everything. We ask this in the name of Yahushua. Amen. All right. Miss Nicole, who do we got in our chat room?
We have the Grand,
Hi, Grandma.
Brother Glenn.
Hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Judith is here. Carla's here. Dredge, Deplorable's here. Zachariah Z, Rhiannon, and Damon.
All right.
Emissary of Elohim just popped in.
Emissary of Elohim. Everybody's family. We have made it to the successful family list. Much love to everybody out there. Hi, Judith Silvers. I saw you just pop in here as well. Grandma, much love. Damon, how you doing, little buddy? And the Slagger family, we love you guys. Emissary of Elohim, give your little lady a big old hug for us and a high five. And it's good to see all of you guys there. You lost your tooth today, Damon, at 7:25 on a Shabbat day. Well, that's good. That is good. That means you are progressively getting older, and pretty soon those big boy teeth will come back in, and you'll have the big choppers. Now the problem is when I lose my teeth at this age, they don't come back, and so we try not to lose our teeth. It's good to see everybody out there. All right, Jaden, do you have? Actually, I will read the Shema. Guys, let's start off with this. This is the Shema, and this is it's something that is very awesome. It is something that we should all understand, and it is where we begin our little assembly today. And if you have never heard of Yahushua, if you've never heard of Yahuwah, Yahuwah is the name of our Creator. Everyone calls him God. Everyone knows him as God. And most people know our Messiah as Jesus the Christ, and there were no J's in Hebrew. And so when we talk about Yahushua, we are talking about the Son of the Most High. And it's like Joshua with a Y. And if you don't know who Yashrael is, Yashrael could potentially be you. Yashrael is the people who are keeping the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator, and they that have the faith of Messiah Yahushua. And so it's a two-way road when you read scriptures. It starts off with the Torah, and then it gives us our Melchizedek priest, who is Messiah Yahushua, who became the perfect lamb sacrifice for all of us. But one without the other isn't going to make it, and it's a two-way street. And so it is a perfect combo that we have. And so this is for you guys out there who are Yashrael. Hear, O Yashrael, Yahuwah Eloheinu. Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah Eloheka with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, and you shall write them upon the posts of your house and on your gates. Now, gentlemen, have we talked about any of the commandments today? Have we talked at all about anything? Have I fulfilled this, or have we not? I don't know if we talked about commandments today. Have you guys, when you guys woke up this morning, did you guys think about anything?
Yeah, I mean, I thought about Shabbat. I mean, it was of course thinking about the day that was
Do you guys think about this when you walk, when you talk, when you sit, when you rise up, when you go to bed? Do you guys meditate upon the laws, statutes, and commands of our Creator?
Yeah, I think about them all the time.
This is the hot seat right here. Of course, there's going to be, yeah. So, Eli, do you?
Yeah.
Do you? How
Yeah.
often?
a few times.
Honesty is important, son.
A few times during the day, like not all the time.
What do you guys think about when you guys think about the law, statutes, and commands?
Well, depending on if I'm thinking about a certain command, or I'm trying to like apply something to my life and see if it's the right thing to do or not.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's continue on. Much love to everybody out there, and we will begin. Today is month 11 on our Creator's calendar. It is a Shabbat, and that makes it the 6th day of His month. It is the 7th day of our week. It is a Saturday on the Gregorian Babylonian, and it's also the 28th day of January. All right, gentlemen, are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, and Eli, do we have our simplified law, statutes, and commands? Now, this is a little section that we do every single week, and we do this because in the Shema that we just read, we're supposed to write these law, statutes, and commands upon our heart, mind, and soul. We're supposed to have them as the key point of our life. When we rise up, the first thing that we should be thinking about is our Creator and His laws and His ways, and how are we going to bring fruition to that? How are we going to bear fruit with His laws, statutes, and commands? And so as we go through these, we're trying to bring these to what they call muscle memory or thought memory, or where you guys can retain them. And these are the greatest things you will ever be told. There's a lot of things that people love to be told, and you can hear great news, but the greatest news that we could ever have is that we have a Creator, and not only does He love us and gave us life, He breathed into us the breath of life, but then He gave us a path. And that path isn't just to take us to a grave. That path is to take us back to the kingdom, or take us to the kingdom. And that is what our goals are. And the kingdom walk and the gate that Messiah always talks about, it's a little tiny gate, and that most people do not make it through. And we need to be very, very understanding when Messiah says that most people don't make it. Why isn't it that most people don't make it?
Because
Gentlemen?
they don't walk the walk. They do not follow the narrow path.
Yeah, they talk the talk, but when you walk the walk, walking the walk is far different than talking the talk. What do you got? You got anything in the chat room? Okay.
Zach just says his favorite part is going over the laws every Shabbat.
Yeah, and us too. We absolutely love these. And so, gentlemen, let us begin. I will begin with commandment number 1 that we see in the scriptures. And for those who like to, or who say that the commandments aren't necessary for your life, there's 2 commandments right out of the gate: be fruitful and multiply. And if we did not have be fruitful and multiply, we wouldn't be here today, right? We would not be where it is at. So the very first thing our Creator told us that we need to do and observe is be fruitful. Now, what does bearing fruit look like, Eli?
Basically, it's being what's the word I'm looking for?
Productive.
Yeah, productive during the day. It's like being productive, not like being a lazy like couch potato would be like one way of being fruitful.
That's one way of being fruitful, absolutely. What about ministering to the broken? What about
teaching the word, helping those who cannot help themselves?
What about sitting down with somebody who's homeless and giving them a big hug, or talking to them and reaching out?
That obeys a few laws.
Is that fruitful?
Yeah, I would say so.
Does that bear fruit?
That bears fruit. Yeah, plant seed.
It plants seeds. It absolutely plants seeds, yeah. Okay, all right, guys, so let's begin and be fruitful.
Multiply. Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The herb bearing in every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families. Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Okay, now, guys, on these, we go over these pretty quick, and usually there's a couple hundred people that make it through these views on this particular video over the course of a week. And so if we're going too fast, or you guys want to hear anything more and we can be of any kind of service to you in explaining any of this stuff, just drop it in the chat, right? We will be happy to hear it. Why'd you give me that look, Mr. Cole?
Because I'm confused by Dredge's comment.
What's Mr. Judge say?
How do you replenish something that was never inhabited?
How do we replenish something that was never inhabited? Are we talking? I don't know.
We need you to elaborate, Mr. Dredge.
Yeah,
It's
Mr.
talking about like verse 3, replenish the earth.
Oh,
Commandment 3.
Replenish the earth. So replenish the earth. That's a very interesting one.
I think it's something like, right, you let's say you cut down a tree, right, for wood, why don't you plant 2 more trees over next to it or something like that? I think that's what he means by replenish the earth.
It could also, that could be one thing, and also replenish the earth we could be talking about after the days of Noah, things of that nature. Replenish the earth. There's not going to be anything left. I don't know. I don't know exactly because when we're talking about that, we're talking about in Genesis 1, right? And so replenish the earth, I don't know, other than, when we are, like Cade said, if you go and you destroy the resources of this world, go build them back.
Like you got all these. Adam was given all these fruit trees, and he was given to be the gardener. If he takes all the fruit trees and doesn't replant from the fruit trees, he's gonna have no fruit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a good one. Good question, Drudge. Very good question. Okay, back to where are we at, Jen?
We are on 7.
I think I was
Hold
9.
on.
Yeah.
Dredge says, remember this is Genesis.
Yeah, that's why I say, we're replenish the earth, and so I don't know, other than we're in the very first chapter of Genesis where we're at, and it could mean a lot of things, and we don't have a lot of answers for some of the stuff that we have, and that's like some of the stuff in Targums is a little bit interesting. Like one of the things we didn't know prior to reading Targums is we didn't know the Torah was written 2,000 years prior to creation, and so we don't know. We don't know a lot of stuff, so I guess we'll ask. That's very good questions, though.
I think another way you can apply it to your life is you've been blessed with the Torah, right? You've been given the fruits of the Torah. Why don't you go plant those seeds somewhere else to someone? That could be replenishing the earth with people that know the Torah.
Yeah. Ram says, what's plenish is a prefix, replenish, yeah. So it is like re-inhabit or redo stuff. There's a lot of people have had a lot of questions, and there's questions that we will never have. Answers, yeah. Well, you have questions and answers. What is are we the very first creation there ever was? We don't know any of that. We don't know any of the history. If Yahuwah is forever and one day is like 1,000 years, we could be billions and billions of years beyond. There could be a lot of interesting things that go on, and a lot of these I don't know if we'll have the questions for at all. Okay. Let us continue with this. Very good questions, and let's get those out there when we talk about those for sure. And if I don't know these, if we don't know these, we're not like super educated in all this, guys. We are reading it with you guys as a family, as families do, and so we're not educators by any means, and we are those people that are just seeking the answers a lot like you guys are, and so we will have the same questions you guys have, and hopefully as family we can sit and figure this stuff out. Okay, Commandment 9 going on is do not eat the blood. Very, very, very important.
Walk before me and be perfect. Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, matzah.
There's one Torah for the stranger and one for the Ephraim. And guys, this means, and I know those who are sitting here immediately with us right now, you guys know what this means. But for those who do not understand what that means, if you come from a Christian religion or you come from a Catholic religion or you come from whatever religion, it doesn't matter what religion you come from, when you seek the Torah, when you seek and when I say the Torah, I'm talking Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. I'm not talking anything else. But when you seek it, that is your guideline. It doesn't matter where we have been brought up. It doesn't matter what kind of captivity we awaken ourselves inside of. When we realize that the Torah is for us and it is our guidelines, that is where it all begins. And once we figure that out and it's for us, that's important. All right, head it on. Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Sabbath day.
Honor your parents.
Here,
Do
here.
not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times. Yahuwah's law is for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifices to other gods.
Do not oppress the stranger, fatherless, or widow. Do not charge your brother interest.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast. No false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray. Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from murmurs and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress the stranger. Love the stranger.
Yeah.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feasts of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk. Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land. Do not make or use anointing oil on an old person. Do not make or use perfume on an old person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you're going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's. Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippurim. Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your son to Moloch. Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy.
Do not reap the corners of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor. Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not hate your brother.
Right.
You must don't endanger your neighbor.
Yeah, don't endanger your neighbor.
Don't endanger your neighbor, don't hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
But I like where you're going with that. Don't hate your brother. That was right on time. Okay. And so where are we at? Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Yeah,
Next one.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
do not diverse your cattle. Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years. Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos. Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult a medium. Respect your elders. Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruits, Shavuot, and the Omer camp.
Keep the feast of trumpet, Yom Teruah. Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury. Honor the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The Torah of being a Nazir.
Wear tzitzit on the 4 corners of your garments. The laws of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's laws of inheritance.
Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Okay, touch on that for me, Kate. That's
Well-
a very important one right here because all of us have at some point in our lives been guilty of adding to and taking away. And running when I was a hardcore Christian, we did all of that. We did, that I added and took away from it. I mean, that's the only way that I can describe my life in the Christian church is that we were able to eat our pork. We were able to do things that are contrary to what Scripture said. And when we do that, and when we have those kind of laws, we are adding to and taking away from the Word. And the Word is very, very, I'm not going to say, I guess it is strict. It's very, very strict. And it needs to be strict because we can't go to the left and we can't go to the right. We have to stay right in line because there is a broad path that leads to destruction. And so we have to be very, very careful that we are in line with this. And when you seek out religion or when you seek out a church and when you look at the church's doctrine, because every church and every religion will have their own set of doctrine that what they believe. And when you start reading it, it goes against Torah. Most of the time, it goes against the Torah because it adds stuff to it. Like, for instance, Sunday worshiping. That is adding to and taking away from the Torah. All right, 109. Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah. You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Find the laws upon your hand and the front between your eyes.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah. Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart. Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim. Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year release. Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah. You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
Wherever at all. There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophet says Deuteronomy. Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is to get double portions.
All right.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman shall not wear it pertaining to a man, nor a man wear it pertaining to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
Law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house. To get your payment, he must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back for the forgotten sheep
In the field.
in the field. Leave it for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Thank you.
Do not mulch your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and his firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the feast of Sukkot. All right, and so
Back to replenish and replenish.
let's go back. Okay, sorry guys, your head's gonna spin here. Try not to. And
Emissary of Elohim gave you definitions.
okay,
Plenish, to fill, stock, or resupply.
okay,
To replenish, to refill, restock, resupply.
it's the same thing.
The same thing, only it has the re in front of it.
So it's the same thing. You basically need to stock, fill, and it. So is
So
replenish a funny word then?
Zechariah Z says maybe it should have been just supply and not resupply in the first place. And the Grand says, I like fill the earth.
Fill the earth. Yeah, that sounds good. This is why having these conversations with awesome Torah keepers is simply amazing. Because, like I said, we don't know a lot of the stuff, and we're as far as in age, we're kind of young compared to our old wise owls like Brother Glenn and some of our old awesome experienced folks that we have out there, which is super amazing to have. Okay, guys, are you ready to roll?
Yep.
All right, so let us begin. We are going into our reading of today. We are in Bereshith, so Genesis, and we will be, hang tight, we'll be trying to sort this out right here. And Eli, am I at the right spot here on this one? Let me see, 22?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so here we are, everyone. And so, guys, we have, for those who have never listened to this, the top piece of this is called the Targums. And thanks to Brother Glenn, Targums literally means translation, right? It's another translation. And so we're learning some stuff out of the Targums that we have not learned before. We are trying to get rid of any kind of possible Babylonian influence and things that we have seen inside of the Targums. And the scriptures at the bottom is the former Hallelujah Scriptures Bible, and you guys can download that, and you guys can put it. It's free of charge. You can go to the Hallelujah, not the Hallelujah Scriptures. You can go to YahuandTheTorah.net, and you can download it. It's absolutely free, and we are rocking and rolling. Is everybody ready to rock and roll?
Yep.
Okay. I will get this off so I can read this, and I miss my family when we do that, but Miss Nicole will tell me who's there. All right. Here we are. Eli, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. And it came to be after these events that Elohim tried Abraham and said to him, Abraham. And he said, here I am. All right. I want to stop right here because we have other places in scriptures where that word I am is used. And people will go, because it started off with Messiah Yahushua. And when they say, are you the son? He goes, I am. Right. And so people will say that Messiah and Yahuwah are the exact same people. And we've been doing a very, I don't know if it's a thorough study in John, but as we read through John, I think John was one of the best books ever that tells us who Messiah is. And for those who do not know and have never read scriptures from the front of the book to the very end of the book, there's absolutely no place in scriptures anywhere that our Creator says he is the Son. In fact, there's books that are taken out of scriptures, like Second Esdras, where it actually tells us the name of the Son who's coming and that it is the Son. And so there's the Trinity has been, I don't know if it's probably a curse, but it is something that everybody has been believing in, and it is very dangerous because when they say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, there will be people, and even Torah teachers, that will pray to the Holy Spirit. They will pray to Messiah Yahushua, and that is not in scriptures. When our Creator says he is a jealous Elohim, he means it, right? When he says Yahuwah is one, he means it, right? We don't need to go taking things out of it. And Abraham did not say right here, he is Elohim, right? He says, I am here. And so a lot of people just take this one I am completely out of context. Did you have something?
Before you start,
Oh, before I start.
Rhiannon said, Today, pork is used for its fat to obtain glycerin, which is used in many household products in the modern world. Pork is also used to make 40 products, including toothpaste. I forgot to mention this when we were talking about fat.
Oh yeah, and you know something else that they have snuck in there with pork are the capsules, right? All of the capsules for medicines. You have to literally find one that has not been made.
That doesn't say
That doesn't
gelatin.
like a gelatin, and it's all made of some sort of a pork thing. And so they get us coming left and right, and it's all a big joke. Let's feed the people bad food or something of the sort. But yeah, you got to watch out for all of that. All right.
Read the top.
All right, the
'Cause
top part?
It's got a lot more than verse 1.
Okay, so let's go up to the Targums on this. Thank you, Mr. Eli. He's my navigator. Okay, at the top. And it was after these things that Ishak and Ishmael contended. And Ishmael said, "It is right that I should inherit what is the father's, because I am his firstborn son." And Ishak said, "It is right that I should inherit what is the father's, because I am the son of Sarah, his wife, and thou art the son of Hagar, the handmaid of my mother." All right, that's some contention. So
That's some ruthless stuff. They had a lot of problems.
yeah, so this is probably one of the reasons why you don't have multiple wives and multiple marriages. It was only set for a time way back in the day when you could literally get your entire house marauded. You know, some bandits come by and kill off your entire line. It was a way to make families fast, but you can see that there are some problems with it. Okay,
And
so
the whole thing with Abraham having Hagar wasn't even necessary. It was just a
Yeah,
thing they did
absolutely.
out of like wanting to have the child, but they didn't think they could do it.
it wasn't necessary, but there were a lot of civilizations of the world that came out because of it, and so Yah has used it for his ways. Okay, let's continue on. "I am more righteous than thou, because I was circumcised at 13 years. And if it had been my will to hinder, they would have delivered me to be circumcised. But thou wast circumcised a child 8 days. If thou hadst had knowledge, perhaps they could have delivered thee to be circumcised." Okay, continue on here. Okay.
It's kind of a weird thing to argue over.
Yeah, but you would, if you were in covenant with our Creator, it would be a big thing, right? Because he was literally 13 years old, and Isaac was 8 days old.
The
Right?
story is almost word for word for Jasher, so that's cool.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let's continue on. Where am I at here? Let's see if thou hast a knowledge, perhaps.
Rather, Isaac.
Okay, Isaac responded and said, "Behold now, today I am 36 years old, and if the Holy One be blessed he were to require all my members, I would not delay." These words were heard before Yahuwah of the world, and the word of Yahuwah at once tried Abraham and said to him, "Abraham," and he said, "Behold me." Okay, so let's talk about this real quick, guys, because this is something we've never ever. Well, we actually had heard about it because we read Jasher.
We know a little more in Jasher. There's more than that. He doesn't just go straight to Abraham afterwards. Hassan comes to Yahuwah first.
So if Isaac is 36 years old and he was
Ishmael's 50.
he's got to be what, 50?
50.
50 years old. So I mean, these people are adults. These are you know, they're old. They've come and gone. Okay, Eli, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, 2. And he said, "Take your son now, your only son," and he's again, this is Yah talking to Abraham. Take your son now, your only son Yitzchak, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains which I command you." And Abraham rose early in the morning, and saddled his donkey, and took 2 of his young men with him, and Yitzchak his son, and he split the wood for the burnt offering, and arose and went to the place which Elohim had commanded him. Do you think this was immediately after the conversation with the kids, the boys?
I'm sure it wasn't too long afterwards, but I don't think it was immediately.
This was almost in the same verse, right? That we didn't hear of their little conversation, but it was all verse 1. All right. Anyone else have any ideas on how long it took place?
No,
before
I
that?
do know Hassan went to Yahuwah, and he's like, "Where have you been, Hassan?" He's the same thing, Job, I've been seeking up and down the earth. You may devour. And he goes, let's see if Abraham will do this. Let's have him sacrifice his sons.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue on. Did I get 3? Yeah, I did.
Yep.
3. 4. And on the 3rd day, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw the place from a distance. So Abraham said to his young men, "Stay here with the donkey, while the boy and I go over there and worship and come back to you." And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it on Yitzchak his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and the two of them went together. Now, do you guys remember in Jasher? I think
Isaac's a grown man, right? His dad's a little over 100 years old. His dad's probably not as strong as he is because he's still in his youth and prime. But he was in Jasher. He was telling him how to bind him so that he didn't move when he cut him.
Yeah. So
We'll see that in Targum.
Oh, you say that in Targum as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Go ahead. What you
No,
have, Jake?
it's after what this.
Okay.
7.
And Yitzchak spoke to Abraham his father and said, "My father." And he said, "Here I am, my son." And he said, "See the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering?" And Abraham said, "My son, Elohim provides for himself the lamb for a burnt offering." And the two of them went together. Now, guys, if you can hear our roof, I'm sorry, we're out of rain season, but now we're like hurricane season or something, and so you can actually feel the air and the wind going through this house, and you can hear it, and so it's really, really noisy. So if you guys hear that, that's what that is. My apologies to everybody on that, and I apologize for the dogs too. So far, they're being good. Okay, where are we at, Eli, on this?
You are on. We were just up there.
10.
I think we're on 9, weren't we?
We're on 9.
Yeah.
9.
Yep.
Okay, and they came to the place which Elohim had commanded him, and Abraham built an altar there and placed the wood in order, and he bound Yitzchak his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the messenger of Yahuwah called to him from the Shamaim and said, "Abraham, Abraham." And he said, "Here I am." And he said, "Do not lay your hand on the boy, nor touch him, for now I know that you revere Elohim, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me." All right, now we're heading back up to the Targums at the top right here.
First to Jerusalem.
And it's starting off with the Jerusalem, which is only 3 lines right here. And it was after these things that Yahuwah tried Abraham with the 10th trial and said to him, "Abraham." And he said, "Behold me." All right, hold on here. What about the 10th trial? You guys heard of this trial before?
No, maybe it's like 10th thing in his life. He's testing to see if he's really a servant, or maybe this is like maybe Hassan tested him with other things as well. You know, he tested Job with so many different things.
I bet you one of the times where they tried him was when they threw him in the fire, right?
That's probably one of them.
One of the fire, and his dad ended up getting his brother killed on that. All right, continue on.
Hold on.
What do we got?
George says, burnt offerings make no sense after reading Jeremiah 7:21-22. Thus says the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, add your burnt offerings to your sacrifices and eat flesh. And then 22, for in the day that I brought them out of the land of Egypt, I did not speak to your fathers or command them concerning burnt offerings and sacrifices.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, he didn't speak. He spoke to Moshe directly. I don't know if he's like talking about like that, but it wasn't right after either. It was like they had settled down after a little while before they started going to sacrifice.
yeah. What do we know of the first sacrifice? We know that Cain.
lamb.
Well, we have Cain and Abel who were supposed to bring a sacrifice,
Right.
right?
Abraham did several sacrifices. Noah did a sacrifice.
Noah did sacrifice. In the book of Adam and Eve.
The first sacrifice was actually Adam.
Well, yeah, the book of Adam and Eve, and I don't know if that book is 100% right or even if it's clear, but Adam actually killed himself, and several times in that book, and so those are some interesting books. But what else do we have for sacrifices? All the way up to
I mean, I think most people sacrifice. I know Job was doing sacrifices.
Noah did it,
Noah
right?
did,
Because
yep.
he ended up with the 7 cling. So I don't know, Dredge on this whole thing. Maybe Brother Glenn or Emissary knows that. I don't know, but why is there sacrifices? Does Yah want sacrifices?
No.
What does he want?
Obedience. He wants us to be obedient, but he needs a way for us to have forgiveness.
Right, absolutely. Okay, all right. Where am I, Eli?
You're on.
Okay, here
Right
we
after Jerusalem.
Okay, right here.
And
Okay. And he said, "Take now thy son, thy only one whom thou lovest, Isaac, and go into the land of worship and offer him there a whole burnt offering upon one of the mountains that I will tell thee." It says thy only one whom thou lovest.
So I don't think he loved Ishmael.
You don't think he loved Ishmael? How's that
I
possible?
think he meant
I
like
don't know.
his bloodline son, right, from like the marriage. I think that's what he meant. I'm pretty sure he loved Ishmael.
Yeah, I definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so continuing on.
And that's his only son from Sarah.
And another,
Right.
another
It's like-
thing. Oh, you go first.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's like the thing with Joseph, right? It's like the thing when Jacob loved Joseph because he was from Rachel. Rachel, yeah.
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 And here it says, up here it says in the regular versions, it says 2 men. That was Ishmael and one of the other
It
guys.
says you're spoiling the Targum.
Oh, that's
I
all right.
mean,
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, there's no spoilers here.
Yeah.
This is full discussion. Okay. Jerusalem at Mount Moriah. Is this it?
It just says one of the mountains that I'll tell thee, and Jerusalem says which mountain you're saying.
All right, continuing on. And Abraham rose up in the morning and saddled his donkey and took his 2 young men with him, Eleazar and Ishmael, and Ishak his son, and cut the small wood and the figs and the palm, which are provided for the whole burnt offering, and arose and went to the land which Yahuwah had told him. Okay, what can we make of it with the people that he took?
I
Exactly.
mean, he took one of his sons and then he took one of his servants.
Yeah, one of his favorite servants, right? The one who he thought was going to inherit everything was
Right.
Eleazar. Okay. On the 3rd day, Abraham lifted up his eyes and beheld the cloud of glory fuming on the mount, and it was discerned by him afar off. And Abraham said to his young men, "Wait you here with the donkey, and I and the young man will proceed yonder, to prove if that which was promised shall be established. So shall be thy sons, and we will worship Yahuwah of the world, and return to you." And Abraham took the wood of the offering and laid it upon Ishak his son, and in his hand he took the fire and the knife, and they went and both of them together. Okay, hold on real quick. What do you guys make of this real quick? So we have all full-grown adults.
Right.
Then we have Abraham putting the wood on his thing. Now, instead we put the fire. Do you think he just took fire that was already kindled? Or did he take the stuff that he made?
He might have had a torch.
Might a torch or something
I feel like he would have started his own fire.
on the mountain?
I would think so. I think he had brought everything for a sacrifice.
Dude, that would be that's a task in and of itself.
I mean, he brought wood, so
He did bring wood. That is true.
I have to start the wood on fire.
Right. Okay. Now, do you think that Eleazar and do you think he knew about this? Do you think what was going on? Did Abraham tell him this?
I don't think either of them knew. I don't think Ishmael or Eleazar knew, but I think Isaac figured it out.
I mean, they would if they knew, they would probably been telling him goodbyes, right? They at that point, everybody would have said,
Eleazar would have been like, "No, you're insane. Don't do it. Don't kill your only son." I'm pretty sure they would have stopped this whole thing. And that's why he didn't tell them.
"Huh? Do you think they would have stopped him?"
I think they would have if they're like, "Hey, I gotta go sacrifice my son." I think they think
I
that's the normal reaction, right?
feel
When you say,
like-
"I'm gonna kill someone," like especially your own son,
Yeah,
your reaction is, "No, don't do that. That's a bad idea."
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
probably right.
I feel like Eleazar wouldn't. Ishmael maybe, but maybe
Ishmael, you think he would have been? Do you think Ishmael would have cheered this on?
I don't think he would. I don't think he would have gone
I'm sure
for
if
that.
Ishmael found out that he was dead, I'm pretty sure he'd been pretty okay. I mean, he would have been sad for maybe a little bit, but he would have been better off knowing that he would be.
Oh, they had their quarrels, but they're still brothers, so I don't think he would want it. But Eliezer probably would have been like, he's seen what Yahuwah can do. He's been with Abraham long enough. He knows stuff's happening.
I've seen some brotherhood stuff here, so I don't know. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, the love with the brotherhood. Okay, let's continue
I
on.
mean, if someone would sacrifice my brother, I wouldn't let it happen.
You wouldn't let it happen? All right. I'll hold you to that. Where are we at, Eli? What do you have, Mr. Cole?
Back to the sacrifices.
Yep.
Glenn says, Yah freely gives every sin without the need of sacrifices. The sacrifices were to satisfy our understanding of justice so that we could accept even the possibility of being forgiven. They were also to show that sin caused death and to point to the Savior.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that's good. Eli, where are we at?
Yeah, very top.
Okay. And Ishak spake to Abraham his father and said, "My father." And he said, "I am." Again, he's just saying that he's his father. I'm here. Hello. He's not saying anything else. And he said, "Behold the fire and the wood. Where's the lamb for the offering?" And Abraham said, "Yahuwah will choose for himself a lamb for the offering." And they went both of them in heart entirely as one. Do you think he had this figured out?
Yeah, he probably started figuring it out.
Do you think he started getting a little nervous?
I don't think so, because, I mean, he said earlier that he was willing to die.
How would you not get nervous going to your death? I don't think that's called the Green Mile, right? Walking that last little bit right before you get executed. You're not. I don't know how you would be walking without nerves or without butterflies in your stomachs or
When
something
you
of the
keep
sort.
reading, it kind of
All
tells
right.
you more.
All right, continuing on.
The Jerusalem.
Back to the Jerusalem at the top. And Abraham said, "The word of Yahuwah will prepare for me a lamb, and if not, then thou art the offering, my son." And they went both of them together with a contrite heart. Okay, and that was a peaceable heart. And they went to the place of which Yahuwah had told him. And Abraham builded there the altar which Adam had built, which had been destroyed by the waters of the deluge, which Noah had again builded, and which had been destroyed in the age of divisions. And he set the wood in order upon it, and bound Ishak his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And Isaac answered and said to his father, bind me properly, all right? And is that word is all right. I don't know what that is. I guess that is.
Like correctly.
That's not all right. It's all right. So he says, bind me properly, lest I tremble from the affliction of my soul and be cast into the pit of destruction, and there be found profaneness in thy offering. Now the eyes of Abraham looked in the eyes of Ishak, but the eyes of Ishak looked towards the messengers on high. And Ishak beheld them, but Abraham saw them not. Okay, let's talk about this right here. So this is hardcore right here, right? You guys know, as people who have slayed animals, do the animals sit still when you slay them?
No.
Is there is anybody going to be okay getting a dagger stuck in them? I mean,
No.
what's your first thought of you're gonna do?
I should get away from this thing.
Yeah, you're gonna pull this right. Danger,
not
right?
good. This
yeah,
is a bad thing.
Absolutely. And so, can you imagine this right here? Because this sight right here, what we just read, Isaac's sitting there looking up, and he's seeing the messengers. He's okay with this, right? There's a calm in his. There's some sort of a calm, and Abraham, he's broken. I don't know how any person could ever do this without being completely broken. This is like the test of will you be obedient to our Creator? Okay, Eli, where am I?
You are at
Messengers.
Messengers.
The
Yep, towards the messengers on high, and Ishak beheld them, but Abraham saw them not. And the messengers answered on high, come, behold, how these solitary ones who are in the world kill the one the other. He who slayeth delays not. He is to be slain, reacheth forth his neck. Okay, what did that just say, guys? Let me read that slowly. And the messengers answered on high, come. Okay, behold, how the solitary ones who are in the world kill the one the other, and he who slayeth delays not. So who would that be? Abraham. So he's about to kill his kid, right? And he who is to be slain reaches forth his neck, right? Hit me right here, right? He lifts up his head, cut me right here, right? That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. This happened, and that they were going through with this, and I'm just glad I'm not in this position.
What Carla said, it must have been hard for Abraham to sacrifice his son. Abraham was really tested.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You would have to have every bit of your faith in Elohim to be able to do this. And especially after all they went through to get their son and to have a son at the old age that they were at. I mean, having another one, it wouldn't even seem probable, but he knew that Yah would he doesn't lie.
Right, so here's what I want to say and mention, because Abraham, he was promised that Isaac would be generations and Isaac would have everything. He knew in order to have an Isaac would still have to be there for it. So Isaac had to have children for this, and he hasn't had children yet. So he knew if he died, he probably would have brought Isaac back or whatever, because Isaac still would have, because the prophet was not even a liar. So he knew doing this that what would happen.
Even knowing that your son or whatever you were about to hurt would come back, it would be a very hard thing to do. Extremely hard. Hardest thing in the world. It's hard. Okay, are we?
In Jerusalem.
Okay, back to the Jerusalem at the top. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay Isaac, his son. And Isaac answered and said to Abraham, his father, my father, bind my hands rightly, lest in the hour of my affliction I tremble and confuse thee, and thy offering be found profane, and I be cast into the pit of destruction in the world to come. Wow. So it's even more in that thing, right? Because now he even says, right, he's scared of messing up the sacrifice to Yah, that he would end up in destruction at the end. Okay, now the eyes of Abraham reach into the eyes of Ishak, but the eyes of Ishak reaching to the messengers on high, and Ishak beheld them, but Abraham saw them not. In that hour came forth the messengers on high and said, these to these, come, behold, two righteous ones alone in the midst of the world. The one slayeth, the other is slain. He who slayeth deferred not, and he who is to be slain stretcheth out his neck, right? Right there you have the faith of two people, and you have the messengers that are sitting there. Look, Father, this guy's about to kill him. They're doing what you said to do. We need to move. There's something going on.
That was a lot easier to understand than the other version.
It was easier. And the question is, why don't we have any of the stuff in the translations that we have? How come we don't know this? How come we have to depend on Jasher and Jubilees and these extracurricular books to get the full story? Okay.
Just about done.
Okay. And the angel of Yahuwah called to him from the heavens and said to him, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, behold me. And then the other version it says, and he said, Abraham, Abraham. And Abraham answered in the language of the sanctuary and said, behold me. And he said, stretch not out thy hand upon the young man, neither do him any evil. For now it is manifest before me that thou fearest Yahuwah, neither hast thou withheld thy son, the only begotten from me. Okay, now we're heading back into the scriptures at the bottom. 12. And he said, do not lay your hand on the boy, nor touch him, for now I know that you revere Elohim, seeing you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked and saw behind him a ram caught in the bush by its horn. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place Yahuwah-Yireh, as it is said to this day, on the mountain Yahuwah provides. Okay, that is one of those beautiful things right there. Yahuwah-Yireh, which is Yah provides, right? That is, something we've thought about this all the way when we were driving out of the States and driving, 19 days away to a place we had never ever seen before. We had no idea what to expect. We didn't speak Spanish. We didn't speak any of this. And we drove through places. In fact, we didn't even drive through places. In fact, we had to float across rivers because we were so lost in Guatemala and parts of Mexico. I mean, we took the back roads all the way down to where we were at. And the entire way, we could have been killed 1,000 different ways. I mean, literally, we spoke no English. We had no idea.
Spanish.
No Spanish. Yeah, well, there it is, getting old. But we didn't even know what ice was, right? And so you get into Mexico and you get into that. And I remember going, you guys remember that? Going to the gas stations looking for ice, and we had no idea. Even at the gas stations, they didn't even have ice. And now we know it's what?
Yellow.
Yellow. Yeah, yellow. We didn't know that. I thought that was a color. I didn't know that was ice. Okay. And it's Yah provides, Yahuwah-Yireh. Okay, 15. And the messenger of Yahuwah called to Abraham a second time from the Shemaim and said, by myself I have sworn, declares Yahuwah, because you have done this and have not withheld your son, your only son, that I shall certainly baroque you. And I shall certainly increase your seed as the stars of the Shemaim and as the sand which is on the seashore. And let your seed possess the gate of their enemies. And in your seed all the nations of the earth shall be Baruch, because you have obeyed my voice. Then Abraham returned to his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba. And Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to be after these events that it was reported to Abraham, saying, see, Milcah too has borne children to your brother Nachor. Utz, his firstborn, and Buz, his brother, and Kemuel, the father of Aram, and Kesed, and Kezo, and Pildash, and Yidlef, and Bethuel. And Bethuel brought forth Rivkah. These 8 Milcah bore to Nachor, Abraham's brother, and to his concubine, whose name was Reumah, also bore Tebah, Gacham, Takash, and Makkah. Okay, those are hard to say with the little pronunciations there. Okay, now heading back up to the Targums at the top. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, a certain ram which had been created between the evenings of the foundation of the world was held in the entanglement of a tree by his horns. And Abraham went and took him and offered him an offering instead of his son. All right, what do you guys make of this? This said this ram was created between the evenings of the foundation of the world. Is this ram like super old? Could this be possible?
Maybe. Or was it just created right there, just in between the world and the
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. So that could be. Between the evenings of the foundation of the world. I would say it doesn't say the foundation being built. It just says the foundation.
He might just create him outside of the world, right? Between the worlds, and they just placed him there.
Special ram? Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's continue on.
Wow.
And Abraham went and took him and offered him as an offering instead of his son. And Abraham gave thanks and prayed there in that place and said, I pray through the mercies that are before thee, O Yahuwah, before whom it is manifest that it was not in the depth of my heart to turn away from doing thy decree with joy, that when the children of Yitzchak my son shall offer in the hour of affliction, this may be a memorial for them, and thou mayest hear and deliver them, may hear them and deliver them, and that all generations to come may say, in this mountain Abraham bound Yitzchak his son, and there the Shekinah of Yahuwah was revealed unto him. All right, so what do you guys make of this? What did it? Did you guys catch it?
Yeah, Abraham said this is going to be a memorial, right? When we're in our affliction, we're going to remember these times that we just need to keep our faith in Yahuwah and do as Yahuwah said, we're going to have afflicting time, we're going to have testing time, but Yahuwah is going to deliver us out of it.
Right.
Glenn says this event is also prophecy of Yehoshua's rising from the dead on the third day. Yehoshua had to fill several prophecies mentioned in Torah.
Yeah, there are. You could definitely expound on that for us, Brother Glenn, on all of that. Let's read in here the Jerusalem here. And Abraham prayed in the name of the word of Yahuwah and said, Thou art Yahuwah who seest and art not seen. I pray for mercy before thee, O Yahuwah. It is wholly manifest and known before thee that in my heart there was no dividing. In the time that thou didst command me to offer Yitzchak my son, and to make him dust and ashes before thee. But that forthwith I arose in the morning and performed thy word with joy, and I have fulfilled thy word. And now I pray for mercies before thee, O Yahuwah Elohim, that when the children of Ishak offer in the hour of need the binding of Yitzchak their father, thou mayest remember on their behalf and remit and forgive their sins and deliver them out of all need. Okay, let's talk about that real quick. Father Abraham was asking what? What was he asking?
That his children would be blessed and they would be forgiven.
That his future generations, that when they fell into sin, that they would be forgiven on the account of the loyalty that Father Abraham gave to Yah. Okay, where are we at? You like? Yeah, check it. There it is. Did I finish it?
I think you finished.
That the generations who arise after him may say, "Yep, in the mountain of the house sanctuary." Okay.
Right there.
And the angel of Yahuwah called to Abraham the second time from the heavens and said, By my word have I sworn, saith Yahuwah, for as much as thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only begotten, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy sons as the stars of the heavens, and they shall be as the sand which is upon the shore of the sea. And thy sons shall inherit the cities before their enemies. And all the peoples of the earth shall be blessed through the righteousness of my son, because thou hast obeyed my word. And the messengers on high took Ishak and brought him into the school Medrisha of Shem the Great. And he was there 3 years. And in that same day Abraham returned to his young men, and they arose and went together to the well of the seven. And Abraham dwelt in Beer-Deshiva. Okay, hold on. We haven't heard this before. He took that same day. It says, is that the same day? And the messengers on high took Ishak and brought him to the school of Shem the Great, right? And he was there for 3 years. Do we have any other accounts of this?
I don't think so.
Did they take him? Hold on.
They float him off?
Because his mom dies just here in a little bit.
Yeah, you'll read that.
But he was right there when she died, right?
You buried her, I think.
Remember, they all buried her. So how
He
would,
was sad, and that's where Rebecca came from.
So how would this make any sense that he was taken to some school, like the school Medrisha of Shem the Great?
It might have been a little afterwards.
Yeah, and he was there 3 years. So yeah, maybe this was afterwards.
Well, he was 40 when he went and met Rebecca.
He's
right.
only 36 here, so
36, 37, 38, 39. So I mean that could be right there. So
possible.
and we know Shem as what?
Melchizedek.
Melchizedek priest is what he was, the verse Melchizedek priest, and we
Shem
only
still
knew that.
alive around this time?
Yeah.
Who?
Wow, Shem is just really living for
Yeah.
a really long time.
He
Like,
lived
a
like
really long.
600, I think.
Yeah,
like that.
Shem's the man. He's rocking the dates. Okay, let's continue on. Where was it? I keep getting
You're
lost, I
on,
guess.
And
Okay. And it was after these things, after Abraham had bound Ishak, that Satana came and told unto Sarah that Abraham had killed Ishak. Okay, so this says Satana. It doesn't say Satan. Why does it say Satana? It's like almost Saint or almost Santa. Look at that. It's missing. It's almost like it's
It's
Santa
just
with an
mixed.
A. Yeah, it's
Satan
Satan.
with an A.
Satan with an A.
It's just the.
But it looks a lot like
translations.
Santa.
It's just the translation, but it's Satan.
Yeah, Hasatan. Okay, so Hasatan came and told Sarah that Abraham had killed Ishak, and we know this,
We know
right?
that from Jasher.
Yeah, we know that from Jasher.
And it killed her.
Yep. And Sarah rose and cried out and was strangled and died from agony. What? We didn't hear that. This is the first we ever heard that she
Strangled by pain?
By
or?
fear.
by fear. Is that what yours says?
No, but that's what it was in Jasher. That
So
was
in-
fear. Like
in-
she was.
And Jack, so she actually died. So she starts freaking out and stressing out. Then a little bit after she like really starts getting like frustrated and stuff, Hassan comes back and like, oh wait, he's alive by the way, and then she dies of a heart attack.
Yeah, okay. So anyway, this is stuff that you don't hear unless you read the extracurricular books at all. Okay, but Abraham had come and resting in the way, and it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah also hath borne. She hath enlargement through the righteousness of her sister, for bring forth sons unto Nachor thy brother, Utz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kimiel, master of the Armenian magicians, and Kesed, and Kazo, and Pildash, and Jidlaph, and Bethuel. And Bethuel begat Rivkah. These 8 bare Milcah to Nachor, the brother of Abraham, and his concubine, whose name was 𝐤𝐄𝐄. She also bare Tabak, and Gacham, and Takash, and Makkah. Okay, and the other post says Jerusalem, and his concubine, and her name. So we were going to do 2 of these today, but I don't know if we will. I think we'll probably end it on this one right here. Guys, what do you make of this first? And what do you guys make of...
the Armenian magicians.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're Armenian magicians.
I mean, doesn't Armenia get wiped out during their times when they're getting back the land?
Well, I don't... So what are we talking... This is talking about a lineage, right?
This is one of Nachor's kids. It became the Armenian magician.
Well, that's what it's... Yeah, so... Kemuel, right? So Utz his firstborn, and Buz his brother, and Kimiel, master of the Armenian magicians.
It says the father of Aram, which is Syria.
Well, that would have to be something fairly evil, don't you think? Like the master of the Armenian magicians?
Well, mine says the father of Aram, and in Sefer says the father of...
The Armenians got wiped off by Israel.
No, that's Syria. Syria, I mean, they're still around during like later times of Babylon.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, that is about the end of that for everybody. Thank you guys very, very much for hanging out with us, and thank you very, very much for spending a little bit of time on this beautiful Shabbat with us. And
I'm going back to replenish again.
replenish. Let's go back to replenish. What do you got in replenish?
Carlene Van, she wrote in, she said, I heard a common question, how do you replenish? Looking at the 16th century dictionary, replenish that meant what we would say plenish. The English, like most languages, changes over time.
So
it should be plenish instead of replenish because it's changed over time, over the centuries. And
oh, that's beautiful. That's good. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you so much for all of your guys' skillful talent, wisdom, knowledge, and all of this stuff. And if you guys have any kind of prayer requests, drop them in the comments. If we can do anything for you guys, we gladly will. We love all of you guys out there. We thank you so much for loving Yah. We thank you so much for seeking the kingdom. We can't wait until we can all sync up one of these days. I don't know if it's my lifetime or another lifetime, but maybe you guys will all get to high five and get to hang out, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know about the validity of the Targums either. That's why we are reading through this as a family, as a crew, and we're trying to get to the bottom of this as well. And so when we read it, this is why we want to discuss this, because unless you read it to discuss it, then we don't know. And one thing that we do know is we have scriptures that we can count on that are in the regular scriptures, right? In the Torah, in the Gospels, the Basora. Those are what we can completely count on. So we're not looking for new ways of anything. We're just looking for details and various things. And a lot of this does line up with Jasher and Jubilees and things of that nature. And so there is things that we should probably know and things that we should probably figure out. But that is good. I think we are good. Much love to everybody out there. Jade, you have the Aaronic blessing ready?
I'm getting that right now.
All right. So, guys, we will read the Aaronic blessing. This is for everybody out there. May Yahuwah bless you. May he keep you. May his light forever shine upon you guys. And may you guys find the kingdom road. All right, Jade, put it there.
All right. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise you shall bless the children of Yisrael, saying unto them, Yahuwah bless you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you, and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon you, and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Yisrael, and I will bless them.
Beautiful. All right. Much love, our family out there. Thank you guys very, very much. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we are going to be leaving this off with this little group called the Left Right Ministries.
And if the dogs go crazy, we're very sorry.
Yeah, if the dogs go crazy, we're already apologizing. Much love to you guys. We love you.
For behold, I create a new heavens and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice forever in what I made. For behold, I made Jerusalem for rejoicing, and her people for gladness. I will rejoice in Jerusalem and be glad, and all of my people, for there will no longer be heard in earth the voice of weeping, or the sound of crying. No longer will there be babies dying, or old men who live so surely. For all shall live out in days. Behold, I created new heaven and earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice forever in what I made. For behold, I made Jerusalem for rejoicing, and a people for gladness. They will all go down, they shall live in them, and they will live in yours, and eat of their fruit, never will they do. Houses and be invaded, nor will be planned, and another be their fruit. As the lifetime of the tree, so will the days of my people be, and my chosen ones will wear out their hands. They will wear out the work of their hands. For behold, I created new heavens and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice forever in what I made. For behold, I made Jerusalem for rejoicing, and a people for gladness. For they won't labor in vain, or their children for the land and sea. For they are children of those blessed by Yahuwah. And it will come to pass that before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear. For the wolf and the lamb will race together, and the lion will eat straw like an ox. And dust will be the serpent's food if they would do no evil or harm on my holy mountain. For behold, I created new heavens and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice forever in what I made. For behold, I made Jerusalem for rejoicing. For behold, I made Jerusalem for rejoicing, and her people for
All right, everybody. We love you guys very, very much. Have a wonderful week. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.